to the UFC because I'm tired of these fighters platform that he's been standing on.
And I agree with him
1,000%. If that was his standpoint, like, hey, he could come out tomorrow and say, I've been doing these fake fights so y'all would get on board with me so I could create this other opportunity so these fighters could get paid their worth. I would stand on that because there's a level of honesty in that. But you out here playing games like you are a credible fighter and you're not, and I can't have any respect for that.
And that's why I just can't stand it, because he's acting as if he's a credible fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Tommy Fury is the first thing he's ever even approached as a credible fighter. In other words, who's someone who's actually boxed,
right,
as part of their professional career. And Tommy Fury is not even a credible fighter
exactly.
in the boxing world. He wouldn't be able to get on anybody's card,
mm-hmm.
even though he's,
It's a marketing scheme. It's not an actual boxing talent. It's a marketing scheme.
When we come back, I want to go further down this road, talking about sports and our perception of them, and a couple other things. We know that Brittany Griner is back in town, literally.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, I want to talk about how she was received and how you read that through the prism of the past 5-6 months.
Yes.
It's later with Mo Keller. We're talking Beyond the Box Score with Jackie Wright. KFI AM 640 live everywhere. The iHeartRadio app now to the KFI 24-hour news from 8.
3 years after it began, California is ending its state of emergency declared because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Mass vaccination and testing sites will close, and insurance companies will no longer be required to pay for vaccines. Human remains have been discovered at the Port of Los Angeles. LA Fire says the remains were found late this afternoon. No word yet on who the person was, but the coroner's office is looking into it. A Disney animator who worked on classics, everything from Lady and the Tramp to The Jungle Book to The Lion King to Aladdin during his 70-year career, has died. Disney says Bernie Mattinson began dreaming of a career with Disney after he saw Pinocchio when he was just 6 years old. He was 87. We're going to check some problems. We're going to check some big problems that are potholes next.
Let me tell you more about Field of Greens. I'm more than a week in. My sleep cycle has been the best part. No lie. It's the best sleep I've had in years, and I didn't expect that today. Field of Greens I expected to improve my general well-being, given I was getting a day's worth of fruits and vegetables with just one scoop of powder in any beverage I wanted. But I didn't expect the improved quality of sleep, the brighter and smoother skin. And I get it. You probably are still thinking, Field of Greens can't be that good, Mo. Well, it is. And I'm super pleased with the results so far. And Field of Greens has a better health promise. Take Field of Greens and at your next doctor's visit, if your doctor doesn't compliment you and your overall health improvement, well, you need to return it for a full refund, and you'll get it. I got you 15% off your first order, and you can get another 10% off when you subscribe. Visit fieldofgreens.com and use promo code KFI. That's fieldofgreens.com, promo code KFI.
Rain tonight, good chance of rain tomorrow and Wednesday with snow and higher elevations, highs in the 40s and 50s. Got a big pothole in Lanes and Duarte on the 210.
Ultimately, is on the eastbound side of the 210, right at Buena Vista. Caltrans District crews should be arriving on the scene if they haven't arrived already. In the meantime, eastbound 210, no slowing, leaving Pasadena and Arcadia, heading toward Duarte and Irwindale. 60 westbound right at Crossroads Parkway. Watch out here. It's a sofa that fell into the carpool lane and left-hand lanes. Obviously, a big sofa. The better news, 5 northbound at San Fernando Mission Boulevard. A vehicle fire cleared from the right lane. AFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Mike Morris.
This report is sponsored by Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org. It takes years, maybe a lifetime, to build trust. Once won, it's a precious value. I'm Michael Achipa, managing partner for Jacoby & Myers. We're honored to have earned your trust since 1972, and there's nothing we value more. Jacoby & Myers, the name you trust. Diet is cheap transmission fluid.
Seriously? Yours is just test the brakes.
We all know how easy it can be to go to the wrong place for car repair. Oh, look at that. Check engine light is on again. So don't risk it. Take your car to the experts at AMCO. AA MCO. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free. Restrictions, limitations, and exclusions may apply. See AMCO.com for complete details. Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, sort of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain.
When it was done, or when I shaved it, it had all this dead skin, and I
Time to talk with your cardiologist to get the full picture. You may have the transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer. On the podcast Really Know Really, join best friends Jason Alexander and Peter Tilden, along with experts, newsmakers, and celebrities, in a search for answers to life's most baffling, intriguing, and annoying questions. You know, those things that make you go, really? Now, really? I think there was a 17-year-old in Rhode Island who ran a candidate that was a deepfake. Really? Wait, that's news to me. That's Really No Really right there. Really No Really. Listen to Really on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast.
Ready? Test it. Treat it. Eat it. Test it, treat it, you can beat it.
Yeah. Visit ukbeatit.org or call 833-422-4255. Plus, with medication to treat COVID-19. Sponsored by the California Department of Public Health. All the radio stations you love and playlists to match your mood, the podcast that everyone's talking about. If it's on the iHeartRadio app, it's free. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. I went to look for my keys. I couldn't find my keys to the car, so I got a spare key. I went out to the car. I parked on the street. The key is in the door. And I'm thinking, what an idiot. Anyone could have stolen the car, but that's how undesirable it is. People are like, nah, but Tim Conway's doing your show. I'm not going to take a rap for this car. Live 4 to 7 p.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app. Ladies and gentlemen, KFI 40 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And joining me in studio still is Long Beach Post reporter and WNBA correspondent, Jeffrey Ray. Jeffrey Ray, let's come back to WNBA. Actually, let's finish up with Jake Paul, Tommy Fury, and this whole idea of a boxing card when the general public, even though we're conspiratorial in nature, we're not exactly settled on the idea whether we're watching a sporting event or whether we're watching a planned event.
Right.
And where the result has already been predetermined because there's much more money in Jake Paul continuing to win than what happened this past weekend. If something maybe didn't go as planned, and it doesn't necessarily mean you control every aspect, but you control most of the aspects lead to a desired result. If you don't know, Jake Paul lost, air quote, split decision to Tommy Fury, which means there's going to be an immediate rematch. But we don't know if either is a credible boxer on any level. And people will pay $49.99 to watch that fight and others on the card. And my thing was Jake Paul wasn't fighting legitimate fighters. He still hasn't fought a legitimate fighter.
Right.
But people are paying him as if he's a legitimate fighter. That's what bothers me. But we were in agreement that what his stance regarding the UFC and the lack of pay for UFC fighters, I am 100% behind.
100%, yes.
But the question then remains, what's his next step? Is he going to talk about it or is Bellator? You have any of these other organizations. I mean, you have Karate Combat. There are other things that he could create other than just a vehicle for himself and his brother, the fake fighters. But how do you think it ends for Jake Paul as far as his boxing exploits?
I think, let me just take a step back. If I was his PR person right now, I would say this is it. This is where you have to, or get off the pot. You know what I mean? And because he's talked a good game. He's talked about providing an outlet for these UFC fighters who are underpaid. And now you have this script coming out. And like you said, by nature, we are a conspiratory kind of thinking people. In my spirit, I think the only reason that Jake did not win this fight is because that script was leaked earlier. And so in order to make that script look invalid, Jake had to lose.
That's the only way.
That's the only way.
Plausible deniability.
But I think that script was very, very real. I've seen a lot of scripts in my life. There was a lot of notes on that script. You don't get a highlighter on a fake script. So,
There's a lot of work to put into a fake script. There are a lot of pages of notes,
right.
corrections.
We all are also inherently lazy, and I just don't think anybody pulls out a blue pen and a yellow highlighter to just make it seem fake. So I think now is his time. I think now he rides on the fact of no, that script was fake, which I would say is not true, but you can ride on that now, and now you can create because you have everything you need. You have the perfect pot of perfect circumstances to create an actual league. You have the sponsorship, you have the notoriety, you have the money, you have people that are paying to see this nonsense, in my opinion. So you can ride on that. And so look what that means for UFC fighters. One of the biggest things that I don't like about UFC is they all have to uniformly wear the same promoter.
Yep.
I hate that. Because, I understand that. Yes, I understand that because in a perfect society, that means the little guy who's not that big a fighter is also going to get a cut. His cut's never going to be as big as a bigger fighter anyway. So give him the ability to go out and find a sponsor that resonates with him to make more money.
And how is it you have these fight cards in the UFC where they're $79.99,
Right.
and you have the heavyweight champion or whatever, whoever's top billing on the card, not make $5 million in purse?
It's insane. It's insane. And I'm not a fan of Dana White for a lot of reasons. But one of those reasons is that you can tell which fighters he likes and which fighters he doesn't by the way he deals with them after they win. We have seen him not shake hands with people. Francis, he didn't shake hands with him. So there's a level of disconnect, and to me, it looks like that is not a scripted event because you can't. These are people at their rawest. So even if you did say you're gonna go in there and take a fall, I can change my mind in that ring, and I can bring the heat. But Jake has a different situation. He has a situation that if he wanted to, he could create a pure setting.
Thank you for the recent likes to my NFT tweets, period.
About the road you
I
take
have more
to get there.
content online
In my
than any
opinion,
person
I
in
feel
global
like
history, period.
I think the fact that Vegas
I
has
have more
never
video
predicted
online,
a Super Bowl run,
period.
that
I
kind of thing. There's a level of
stream my
understanding that
life
this is
all day,
fake.
every day, and have
And I think as
for more than
sports fans, we want
666
a
straight days.
real, authentic league, and Jake has a unique opportunity to create that. I just don't think he'll take it.
Something else we mentioned.
It is the biggest event in global history, period.
I'll say my word.
When this gets big, I will do my best to help bring world peace and make you a trillionaire, period. Is there any way I could please get a retweet? Question mark.
In that environment, what is the feeling about her? How is she being received now that she's back stateside?
Well, as far as the WNBA is concerned, everybody is over the moon. I just left before I got here. I was at a WNBA event for the Sparks and the re-signing of Nneka Ogwumike, and that was one of the things like, hey, you guys all have to come out to our opening game because Brittany Griner is going to be in attendance. Our head coach Kurt, he was like, hey, we don't want Tanae to file out trying to defend Brittany Griner, and there's this overwhelming embracing of Brittany Griner. There's a lot of questions for me personally in the Brittany Griner reintegration situation. And it's not anything negative. I just understand trauma, and I understand that when you deal with trauma, one of the things we all like to do, or a lot of people like to do, is to return to a sense of normality. So for her, basketball is her normality. It's been her normality since she was a young child. So I understand her wanting to reintegrate into that. But I also understand, for me, I need to make sure that she's doing the due diligence mentally because, she has been growing out her locks for an absorbent amount of time. She had to cut them off because they were freezing at night. Have we addressed that? Have we talked about the things that she left unspoken? Because, like it or not, those things impact your game. Whatever you're dealing with mentally off the court is going to impact you on the court.
How old is she now, roughly? 32?
She's 32, I feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's on the other side of her prime.
She is, however, given her size and her agility on the court, her prime can extend a long time. You know, there's no one in the league like Brittany. She's a dominant player. So, and she could revamp her game. We've seen, you know, people like LeBron do that. Well, all of a sudden develop an outside game. You don't have to play inside so much. So she can revamp it. She has a long career. My concern isn't so much how she's going to dominate on the floor, which I think she will. My concern is, have you processed everything that happened to you so you can be effective on the floor?
Hey, Jackie, I usually don't ask this of guests, but I want you, if you could you stay another segment because we're talking about an entertainment story next. Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, you don't have to ask me to stay for Michael B. Jordan. I am here.
Look, he was on, let me set it up for everyone else. He was on the red carpet for Pre-3, and there was a reporter that he knew from his childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Michael B. Jordan knew her and was ready for her and had some commentary about her that he didn't like. She said some things about him. And someone who's worked the red carpet before, I'd love to get your insight on that when we come back.
Yes, I'm here.
It's later with Mo Kelly, KFI 8640 live everywhere, the iHeartRadio app. Now let's go to the KFI 24-hour news from Amy King.
A winter weather advisory has been issued for the LA, Ventura, and Santa Barbara County mountains through tomorrow afternoon. A series of weaker storms are set to bring rain and mountain snow along with winds to LA this week. The National Weather Service says a low-pressure system that covers the entire west coast is going to pick up today and stretch across metropolitan LA through Wednesday. Coastal and valley areas could get up to 1.25 inches of rain with up to 3 inches in the mountains. SoCal Gas is planning to raise rates in 2024. The company says it filed an application to raise the prices last year before the recent spike in natural gas costs over the last couple of months. It says SoCal Gas is seeking to increase revenues by 20% next year. If approved, customers will see the new prices January 1st, 2024. SoCal Gas said Saturday, and average residents would see an increase of $8.28 a month. The Metropolitan Water District says all the rain in Southern California is going to help bank some water for the future.
There's a combination of recent storms and people's attention to conservation. The MWD says it's enjoyed a surplus of H2O. How much we're going to be able to put into storage this year really depends on how high our supplies from the State Water Project will be. Dimitri Polizos with the district says having extra water supplies helps navigate unexpected hot and dry conditions. He says on average, the 19 million people the district serves requires 4 million acre feet of water per year. For perspective,
He agrees with this theory.
but 4 other agencies, as well as a national intelligence panel, still stick with their assessment, which is also offered with low confidence. The COVID-19 first infected people in nature, jumping from animals to humans.
ABC Terry Moran says President Biden brought the Energy Department into the investigation because of its network of national labs has specific expertise. Have rain again tomorrow and Wednesday with some higher elevations. Highs will be in the 40s and 50s. We'll be back to mostly sunny skies for Thursday, and that'll into the weekend and mostly cloudy by the end of the crash in LA.
Southern side of the Hollywood Freeway, right at Glendale Boulevard, an accident involving a car and a big rig was quickly cleared off the right-hand shoulder to the top 101 still low from Melrose down to Glendale Boulevard. New problems near Steel Beach, 605 northbound before Carson Street. The vehicle there and took care of the problem.
Are still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My sister just got an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover our repair bill, oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait a minute, we pay nothing on the repairs. Ox gets it fixed for us? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance? What's the number?
800-301-4089. Ox has a 30-day money-back guarantee and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike other warranty companies. We should call now. 800-301-4089.
The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now. Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-301-4089. Ask about senior and military discounts. Ox covers commercial car owners too. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care. 800-301-4089. I realize the complexities of the human body and its ability to heal itself.
That's orthopedic surgeon Dr. John Herzog talking about regenerative medicine at QC Connect.
It's a very well thought out process, and we use it in all the professional teams around the world.
Regenerative medicine uses healing agents from your own body, like your blood or bone marrow, highly concentrated and delivered right to the achy joint.
By putting it in the spot where it can't normally get to, you can facilitate healing.
At QC Kinetics,
People are very happy to have an opportunity to get better without going through the entirety of a medical procedure. The old ways of dealing with joint pain are no longer the only ways. Learn more about regenerative options that can help you get your life back. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. Call QC Kinetics 213-997-PAIN. That's 213-997-PAIN. 213-997-PAIN. The Smell Good Plumbers at My Diamond will unclog your drain for $99. Having your stoppage unstopped by these aroma-friendly technicians can save you money, prevent flooding inside your home, and remove all unnecessary worry from your life. Your drain will drain more efficiently, your pipes will flow smoother, and your faith in mankind will be restored. This $99 unstopped rate applies to kitchen sinks, mainline sewer stoppages, and all 5 coronary arteries. Schedule an appointment today, and your mic down will show up on time, act professional, and smell better than a new car wrapped in bacon. You will be able to get back to life sooner, focus on things that really matter, and avoid the unsanitary atrocities of Bubba the Butt Plumber. No Bubba's here, ma'am. Unclog drain. Reference the $99 stoppage page at thesmellgoodplumber.com. Then call 800-446-MIKE. Contractor license number 299. This is Mike Diamond, and I guarantee my plumber will show up on time and smell good, and your house call is free. This is Jacob Amon. If you've been involved in a motorcycle accident, call 844-24-JACOB. KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station.
Download the free iHeart Radio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. This is Greg with Most Telling KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Some headlines we're following. Yes, there's even more rain and snow on the way for Southern California. And Twitter has laid off another reasons, mostly positive ones. Creed 3 premieres this week.
Yeah.
I had a chance to see it last week, and there were some other stories surrounding Creed 3. There's not a controversy, but the understanding that this is moving away. Creed 3, there's not a controversy, but it's a director of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I say all that to say he's doing more interviews than previously he would do for a movie and promotion for it. And you, as someone who's worked the red carpet, explain real quickly what happens when you're on the red carpet trying to get interviews with the stars or talent as they're walking by.
So typically what happens is you have to make a relationship with that publicist first. You'll see them walking by, and you know on the carpet is how much begging you have to do. If you're further up on the carpet, you have to do zero begging. And
Right.
so, depending on how further back you are is how much begging you have to do. I'm pretty good with people, so I don't have to do a lot of begging, but it also depends on the amount of time they spend at the front of the carpet, because if they spend 20, 30 minutes at the front of the carpet, they're over it and they're ready to go.
You're supposed to get like 2 questions in, right?
Technically, you're supposed to get 2 questions, yes, but typically what happens, though, is the major networks take about 30 minutes, so they're getting like 10 minutes apiece.
Oh.
So by the time you get to, the rest of us on the back of the carpet, specifically Black media, because we're on the very, very back of the carpet, but by the time you get to us, it's a bigger ask. So I want to just shout out everybody who makes it a point to stop at Black media. There are celebrities that do that. There's not a lot of them, but by the time you get to us, it is a bigger ask. Viola, and I just recently did the NAACP Awards. Yes, Viola Davis, Angela Bassett, they were exhausted and physically, like you could see it on their face, that they were like, I can't answer what my name is right now.
But the point I make is, by the time they get to the smaller media outlets, with all due respect, they have less patience.
They do. Like, ask your questions and let me go.
To set this up, Michael B. Jordan was coming to, I'll say, a lesser-known blogger, Laurel, I think her name is, and she evidently knew Michael B. Jordan from grade school or middle school or something like that. And as the story goes, referred to him and thought that, told that he was corny or making fun of him in her podcast. Michael B. Jordan knew this, had heard this,
entrepreneur, okay?
Right?
You know, I did not say that. Misquoted for sure. No, you did not hear me say that. I said we used to make fun of the name. But yeah, he is obviously killing things out here.
Stop it
How
right
is
there.
the difference?
Stop it right there. Michael B. Jordan was ready for it.
I love that.
And it said, oh, yes, I'm the corny kid, the one you call corny. I say this because I so identify with it. It doesn't matter that Michael B. Jordan directed the film. He's made millions and millions of dollars, that he's a superstar. He remembers the stuff that she said about him when he wasn't that guy,
Yeah.
when he wasn't that famous, when he wasn't that superstar. And we carry that stuff with us forever. And I'm not on his side. I'm saying, I understand it. And who knows? You may have even asked her out for a date way back when. Who knows? But we hold on to that. That just spoke to me on.
But here's where she messed up, though, right? Because
Go ahead. I know
because he was like, "Oh, I'm the corny kid," right? She's like, "I did not say it." First of all, ma'am, if he is saying it,
just go with it.
just go with it and be like, "Well, you know, girls like porn." You know what I'm saying? Just keep it going, but don't deny.
She wanted to argue with him in the most.
Don't do that.
That's why I had you talk about. Okay, you just gave up 30 seconds arguing with Michael B. Jordan, and you could have gotten some real good audio out of him.
Right. You could have said, yeah, but you know, I thought you was corny until you did Friday Night Lights, and then now I'm corny speaks differently to me now. My boyfriend is corny. She could have played that a bunch of different ways. There's that one athlete that'll walk up to me and be like, "Oh yeah, keep that same energy. Oh, say less, fam. I will keep that. I will keep that."
People get real quick, like, you have something to say now? Well, as a matter of fact, I do. I got time.
I got time today because and they appreciate that. They appreciate more of you owning it and moving forward with it than trying to backtrack it. Because when you backtrack it, that's exactly what you do. You waste time. Any other questions that you have in your mind, not getting answered right now.
Right. And I'm a firm believer, and I talk about any number of celebrities. Put it this way, if Nick Cannon were to walk in here, everything I said on the radio, I would say straight to him. I have no problem saying that.
Yeah.
That's just how I roll. People say, like, you talk a lot of mess, you're not going to run into these people. No, this distance is small.
It's very.
I know good and well they run into any of these people at any given time. I have no problem with that. But I thought there was something real instructive here where, given how the red carpet works, and she obviously was down at the end, and it's very difficult to get an interview with Michael B. Jordan, and you started off talking about how you go way back there, that he should have known that was going to be
You should know. Because you're the one who's going to listen to more than anybody, right? Because you knew him before. So I think people have this inflated interpretation of celebrities. I met Viola Davis, and the only reason I met her is I was like, I know you're tired, but I need this picture. Because you just kind of play. You make jokes with them because they are real people.
But you're acknowledging their humanity. You're acknowledging the reality that, yes, I know you've done 20 interviews before you got to me, but I'm not going to waste your time.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll ask you real questions.
But that's the disconnect sometimes, I think, for a lot of reporters, and I'm not throwing any shade, but I think one of the reasons I've had the ability to talk to and interview people that other people haven't is because I'm Jackie Ray 100% of the time. So if I said it and you bring it to my attention, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So I say to say, have you seen Creed 3 yet?
I have not.
Okay, we'll talk about it after you see it.
Yes. I'm excited about seeing it though because I have seen some of his interviews about him wanting to move kind of away from the Rocky aspect. And I think that's very important because he has established himself as his own character, and it's time to revamp that. So I'm excited.
He definitely did that, and I'd love to talk to you about it after you see it.
Okay, I'm going to see it before I come back next Monday.
Fair enough. Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app now. To the KFI 24-hour newsroom in Amy King.
The 600 elementary and middle school students from the Irvine Unified School District have been stranded at science camps in the San Bernardino Mountains. They were supposed to come home Friday, but got snowed in. CHP brought the kids down, escorted them down the mountain today. SoCalGas has taken steps to help customers who have been facing skyrocketing gas bills. The utilities announced $10 million in funding. Federal agencies are still working to find the origins, and that it's a top priority to President Biden. Rain at times tonight through Wednesday, snow and higher elevations, highs tomorrow in 40s and 50s. Got a crash in Los Alamitos on the 605.
side of the 605 before Carson Street. This accident just cleared from the left-hand lane. This involved a vehicle that hit the center divider median. No delays coming away from Seal Beach, heading to Los Alamitos. And 60 westbound at Crossroads Parkway. This is where a sofa fell into the carpool in left-hand lane. An item of furniture removed out of the way, hopefully in one piece. 15 northbound before the 10 in Neal and Empire, an accident clearing from the center divider. And you have a three-vehicle crash in the center divider on the 210 eastbound past Iowa Drive. Hey, up high in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Mike Morris.
This report is sponsored by Sync It Up. Sync It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered teacher-led learning projects. Student computers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
With car prices at an all-time high, our donors are now getting highest receipts